Hello, everybody. My name is Chris, and I am a recovering chartered accountant. Kim has very kindly asked me to talk this evening about my rather unorthodox journey from accountancy to founding my own media production company. So my story really begins at school, where I was really interested in music and writing, especially in writing comedy, and I combined the two and started writing musical comedy. I had some great teachers at school. I remember my English teacher in particular showed us some really interesting British satire shows on TV, including The Day Today and Brass Eye by Chris Morris, and I thought that was kind of the coolest type of show in the world. And also, my school was really good at encouraging us to get up and perform, and I did some performances of my musical comedy for peers and for teachers and parents. And that went down really quite well, and that gave me the confidence to think that actually this is something I'm quite good at, something I'd love to pursue further. But whilst at school we had some career talks, and most of them were from investment bankers and lawyers and that type of thing, and I didn't really see an immediate kind of career path for pursuing musical comedy. So in 2005, I went off to the University of Edinburgh to study politics, because back in 2005, you just went to university and everyone said, just go do a degree, it doesn't really matter what it's in, just go do one and you'll be able to get a job doing pretty much everything. Oh, how naive you were, 2005. Anyway, that's what I did. So I went to study politics, and two interesting things happened at university. The first, I started to rent video cameras and started to pursue a new passion that I was getting for filmmaking. I got involved in a bunch of projects through the university, and I found a strange little embryonic website, 2006 I think it was, called YouTube, and I started putting some of the videos I was making on YouTube, and most of them were terrible. Most of them were absolutely abysmal, but I learned through each one what I was doing wrong, why they were terrible, and started to get better at it. So I came out of university in 2009, wanting to pursue a media-oriented career, and I applied for a few jobs with the likes of the BBC and didn't hear anything back. But I did hear back from one company, a big finance company, who offered me a role in a division doing audit and assurance. And they would train me for 3 years to be something called a chartered accountant. And under a fair amount of parental encouragement, let's say, along with a fair amount of media headlines saying that pretty much nobody else in the Western Hemisphere had jobs in 2009, I just took the plunge and went to be an accountant. So one interesting thing happened when I was an accountant. I got a bunch of people I worked with together, and I wrote and directed and put together a comedy mockumentary in the style of a David Attenborough wildlife documentary, all about life as an accountant. And I made it, put it online, and it was on the verge of getting quite a lot of traction and being seen by quite a few people, at which point I got called into an office with a senior partner who had just got off the phone from the New York marketing department, who had found this video, didn't like the fact that it existed, and asked me in no uncertain terms to take it off. And I did. And I learned pretty quickly that creativity, or my brand of creativity and accountancy, weren't really going to mix. So in 2013, I qualified as a chartered accountant, and pretty much immediately I decided it was time to hand in my notice and move in a more creative direction. And at that point, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. I just had a fundamental urge to be creative again. And I'd managed to save a little bit of money being an accountant. So what I did, I moved back home, I took part-time work, and I started to think about putting my energy into a creative project I was really passionate about. And that really, long story short, is how I came up with the idea for History Bombs. So my partner Claire and I worked really hard in sort of end of 2013, beginning of 2014. We made a pilot. That worked really nicely. We then got some funding, mainly from friends and family through Indiegogo, and we made a series of 6 exciting history videos, which we put online on our YouTube channel. They went down really well. We won a few film and TV awards, had some excellent responses, especially from teachers and students who are using them for academic purposes, and that got us noticed by broadcasters as well. So we started doing a bit of work last year for BBC Learning and a few other bigger customers. We're now looking to raise investment and make our own content mainly for the education sector. So it's 3 years since I handed in my notice as an accountant, and I'm not going to stay here and stand here and say I'm living some sort of utopian existence, because that's completely not true. A lot of my day-to-day activity is involved in the admin and the tasks involved with setting up a brand new media company. But every few weeks I get to write scripts, write music, get together with an awesome array of actors and filmmakers that we have, and make videos, and that is pretty cool. So pursuing my passion is required a lot of courage and commitment, and a lot of help and support from my friends and family. But I can truly say that almost on a daily basis I'm being pushed out of my comfort zone, this evening included, and it's been an awful lot more interesting than accountancy. So that's my story, really. And I think my question for you all this evening is, how can you make your passion work for you? Or how can you put it to work? There you go. How can you put your passion to work? Nice. Thank you for listening.